right, we're rolling.
Oh man, rolling.
What?
Oh, should we turn off the music on the patio?
Oh yeah, man.
Professionals.
Okay, so we filmed a little super fast time lapse.
We did.
No fun edits, nothing crazy. We're just gonna get into this.
Okay, so
I think this is how we roll.
Episode number
3.
0003.
Are we gonna say that every time?
Yes, no, we have to. Oh,
we have to?
No, well, yeah.
Yeah. Episode 0003. And I'm Tim.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Tap Talks. And we're back. Here we go. All right. Episode number 0003 of Tap Talks. All right. So we're going to set this up so that we're going to say today, beer number 1 of our four beer flavor adventure. As you can tell, we have a beautiful array of color here.
Yeah.
All right. So Josh, you want to just quickly do a verbal on the 4 different ones that we have here, and then we'll dive into them individually.
Okay, so we're going to do Gray Fox's Quick Witted Wit, Abandoned Rail, Zwei. This one is Hefeweizen Bock. We've got Cannery's Maple Stout called Heist, and then Fieldhouse's Black Currant, Pomegranate, and Passion Fruit Sour.
Yes, and we definitely put the sour at the end on this one. Normally you put that before the dark beers on the flights, but holy cow, this sucker's got some flavor. So
it's the end.
All right, so we're going to go right into it. I'm going to kick this one off. So we're going to do our cheers first, traditional first, so you can drink. Cheers, Josh.
Cheers, Tim.
A little sip. So as Josh said, this is Quick Witted Wit from the amazing Gray Fox Brewing. So first off, Gray Fox is BC's only gluten-free certified craft brewing facility. They are located up in Kelowna. And man, are these guys making some amazing beers.
Not only gluten-free, I believe celiac.
Celiac, yeah, because there's no barley in their facility, no wheat in their facility. Buckwheat, rice, millet, I think those are the primary things that they use to create these amazing flavors.
Oh, and you'd never think that a gluten-free wheat beer would be so good, but it is.
Okay, do you want to know why I chose this particular one? I know we rotate through 4 or so beers.
As many as they can get us. They're relatively new, and their beer sells out very, very quickly. So
yeah, we have a very big gluten-free following here at the Barley Merchant.
Yes.
But we have a huge gluten-free menu. And we always have a gluten-free beer from Gray Fox on tap. So the reason I waited until we had Quick Witted on tap is because this beer is a double gold medal award-winning beer. So this beer in 2023 won gold at the Canada Beer Cup, as well as the Canadian Craft Brewing Awards. So it is, as I said, made with buckwheat, millet, rice, and then they put some coriander in there, some orange peels. So it's super light, super crisp.
Yeah.
The citrus notes are really, really great. And like to have a wheat beer that doesn't have wheat in it and to hit it out of the park.
Yeah, it's so light, so crisp. It's a awesome beer that happens to be gluten-free, not, it's good for a gluten-free beer. You know?
Yeah.
It's a big distinction.
Absolutely. We actually have a lot of people that order this beer because they're curious about, what it would be like, but they they don't have gluten issues.
Yep.
But even people who don't have gluten issues genuinely love this beer. I feel like when it comes to gluten-free options, a lot of places play it safe with just having a lager on hand, which we have their humble lager. Yep. It's awesome. We have they do a stout. What's that one? Do you remember what that one's called? We'll circle back to that. We'll put it right here.
Buck Wild Stout?
Buck Wild, yeah, because it's made with buckwheat, right?
That makes sense.
And then their Agile IPA, which does an amazing job at being a delicious IPA.
I think that is Saison.
Without the grain.
Like one little
farmhouse. Farmhouse Saison. Yeah, so they're
a bunch
green and growing, but holy cow, are they killing it. So that is Gray Fox. And we'll move on to the next one.
It took me so long. Like Gray Fox was GF for gluten-free. That took me like a long time
to
realize.
Minute. But I've met Chris, the owner, and he's got gray hair. And I totally thought, maybe that is a shout out to him, but
the GF.
Gray Fox, gluten-free.
Yeah, it took me a really long time.
Well played, Gray Fox. Well played. Cheers to you.
Such a good beer.
Mm-hmm. All
Whew.
right.
Okay, so cheers, Tim. This is our
Cheers.
second beer of the day. Okay, so Abandoned Rail. These guys are a farm up in Penticton on the Naramata bench, and I believe their brewer originally started at Steel and Oak and now has moved there and specializes in German styles of beer. And this is a mix of two different types of German beers. We have Hefeweizen mixed with a Bock. So I think this one is like almost a Weizenbock, not quite. Seems kind of unique. Tons of classic Hefeweizen flavor in this guy. It comes in. So at first I thought the name was like Zwei, like no Zwei, but it's actually German for two. Zwei.
Yeah.
So
it's their second anniversary.
Oh,
and a blend of two beers.
This makes even. I thought it was a double.
Well, it's also a double. It's an Imperial.
Yeah,
the ABV is
8.5.
8.5.
So we're reaching like King Hefe territories of you would never know just from your first little like.
Yeah, that color is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it was aged in bourbon barrels too.
Yes.
So
there's a ton going on. So
yeah,
bourbon barrel aged Hefeweizen Bock
with banana flavors and clove flavors and spice and char from like all those things going on.
And the depth of the bourbon barrel, I find anything that you age in a bourbon barrel, it just has a second layer going on to it, and this is just such a treat. We were this is not even on their website. It's not even released as far as
I actually tried to go online and find a write-up on it, and other than the things that we pulled out of it and that little sample can we had that had the little notes on there, it's like it doesn't even exist. I don't know. Maybe did we get it early? Have they not dropped it? I don't know. I'm actually super excited. I'm going to be heading up to the Penticton area. So Abandoned Rail is in Naramata, just outside of downtown Penticton.
Yep.
And I am actually going to be judging up at Festival again this year for the third time. And I always look forward to visiting my friends in town. I'm not sure if I told you, but I will be popping into one of the local breweries to do a collaboration beer. And I'll tell you off camera what it is, because we just figured out what it's called and what it is. And it's actually really cool.
Inside scoop. Inside scoop.
But not for you folks yet. Sorry. But I'm probably going to sneak out to Abandoned Rail. One of the things that's really cool about Abandoned Rail, too, is that they are actually on the KVR Trail, the Kettle Valley Railway Trail. So it's a really great spot if you are cruising out on your bike and you just pop off the trail, hop in, have a tasty beverage, and get back on your bike and keep on riding.
With a helmet.
With a helmet.
I mean, there's so much in Naramata there. You have all the wineries, a couple of the more distilleries up there as well. I believe Legends and Maple Leaf Spirits are neighbors to Abandoned Rail.
Yep.
And I can't even count how many wineries are up there.
Lots.
Yeah.
Lots. So it's a great spot to spend an afternoon. Absolutely. There you go. Abandoned Rail, anniversary beer.
Speaking of Penticton, what's the next beer?
The next beer is also from Penticton, and this is Heist Maple Stout. Ooh. Cheers, Josh.
Cheers, Tim.
It's like drinking chocolate pancakes. Unbelievable. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, this is called Heist Maple Stout because it actually pays homage. I don't know what homage means.
Like to honor.
Well, I mean, I know what it means, but like, why do we say it like homage? Is that French. Is it French?
Yeah.
For homie? Homage?
I think it's French
Respect?
for homie.
Yeah.
It's French for homie. I'm pretty sure that's
okay. So it pays homage. You don't even pronounce the H, I think.
You can if you want to.
Okay, so this maple iced. So maple heist was actually a thing that happened. It was the largest dollar value heist in the history of Canada until someone stole a bunch of gold and stuff from Toronto International Airport. But before that,
liquid gold is maple
syrup. It truly is the taste of Canada, maple syrup for sure. I guess between 2011 and 2012, there's this like huge storage of maple syrup barrels in Quebec, and they inventoried it once a year. Well, over the course of that year, between inventories, this group of
rapscallions.
I was waiting for that's a great word actually. Rapscallions. We'll just cut out the big break that I was saying.
Like a loading.
Yeah,
Loading.
that's a great idea.
Loading.
I'll do that. Okay. Way too much energy for this early morning. Okay. So what happened is they started sneaking these barrels off site, draining them of their liquid deliciousness, and refilling them with water and then putting them back. And these are 600-pound barrels. And after a while, they realized that all that effort was kind of pointless because nobody was actually checking. So they just started draining the barrels on site, and eventually got away with, and I looked this up, 9,571 barrels of maple syrup, which was equal to over 500,000 pounds of maple syrup. And we're talking like at the time about $18.5 million worth of maple syrup.
So these guys just love pancakes. Or were they at like farmers markets, like trying to secondhand sell? Like, what would you do with that much maple syrup?
I mean, you have to have a buyer or several buyers.
Okay.
So they shipped it to 2 different locations, and we're slowly getting rid of it. But then the follow-up is when you do things that are bad, there's a good chance you may get caught. And they got caught, and 17 people ended up going to jail over this huge maple heist. So this is a beer that uses maple syrup that tells the story of that little piece of Canadiana history.
We bring it back quite a bit. I think it's been on tap 3 or 4 times already here. 5.5%. I just love Cannery. I think everything they do is awesome. And
they're an OG.
Yeah,
like they are the original one, the old Cannery building up there. They have a really cool space there too. So they got their nice inside space. They have killer nachos there as well as great beer. And then they have like a little patio space that's out the side, like the back deck, or I forget what they call it.
Super nice people.
Backyard.
Awesome.
Anyways, Cannery. Sometimes you just gotta, we got the new kids as we talk about, the quick witted and the Zwei from Van and Rail and Grey Fox, but like Cannery, still killing it, still innovating, making great beer. Speaking of innovating and making great beer,
we've got on the end of the list here, Fieldhouse Brewing. Cheers, Tim.
Cheers.
Woo. So, Fieldhouse is one of the closer breweries to us that isn't an immediate Langley brewery. They're over in Abbotsford, their original location at least. They've got another location in Chilliwack.
Yep.
And they just celebrated their birthday. I believe they're the same age as Trading Post. So that makes them 8.
Yeah.
And they have been killing it from day one. One of the Valley's absolute treat of a places to go because of beers just like this. So this is a black currant, pomegranate, and passion fruit sour. And it is just a punch bowl zing to the face. Like you could. I
don't think I've ever had a fruit beer that has so much fruit flavor.
It's wild. It's so bold.
Like how do they?
This color. I mean, this is a while supplies last. We tapped this. I don't know, like just a couple days ago, and it's almost gone. So by the time this airs, it may or may not still be in the restaurant. And that's the beauty of these first come first serve. You see this, you taste it, you want more. Absolutely gorgeous. We've been getting a lot of their Barrel Room series special kegs because I asked very politely.
That
they know that I like to bring in the funkiest and coolest things, and Fieldhouse never disappoints on funky, cool beer. There's so many bottles I've had over the years that it sounds insane, the flavors they put together, and then you crack it, you have it, and it's balanced and flavorful. And yeah, passion fruit's one of those things that so much zing. I just love it. It's
zing.
You get the color from the pomegranate and the black currant, but what really shines in this for me is all of the passion fruit. It's just, and not a crazy sour for ABV as Fieldhouse standards can be sometimes. This one's only like a 6% or 6 and a bit percent, which is good because sometimes you have a beer like this and it's like, oh, it's oopsies 10%.
Well, their dark sour was the one that my wife really got into sour beers when she had that one, because when that was out in the bomber bottles and you grab one of those and you had one of those 10%.
Gets the job
done. Was a doozy. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, straight to the party. So there you go. That was a massive lineup of flavors there. Some really great juxtaposition between the different flavor notes. They all work really well on a flight too. So it's Saturday. We recorded 2 days later this week because we did say we were doing these periodically. All right, well that's it. Another episode of Tap Talks in the books.
Yeah.
Swing by while these are all still on tap. We'll try to get this fired up and edited and drop maybe tonight or early Sunday.
Back to work, Tim.
Yeah, I know, right? But the editing part is kind of fun. But I also realize how much we ramble and that I do this a lot. You do that too.
This one?
Little piano players. Maybe one time, you know what? We should do this and then I'll just put some piano music in.
Yeah, fidgeting. The first episode was fun because of all like the pen twirling.
Yeah.
I watched it back. I'm like, ooh, man, I gotta like.
Anyway, I hope you guys are having fun watching these. I always wonder if people watch to the end. If you watch this video to the end, tell us in the comments that you did and tell us what beer you're most excited about trying. So that's it for us. I'm Tim.
I'm Josh.
And that was Tap Talks. Okay.
That was great.
Those were freaking delicious.
Oh yeah, we killed it this week. These are great choices.
And like we could have done a whole nother flight because there's like so many other great options on there right now too.